Listen, guys, this is something kind of nerve-wracking for me because I've never had two people on a Zoom call before. Let's see how this goes. Connie and is it Yves?
Yves.
Yves. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are we doing?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
I am doing okay, doing okay. I'm excited to talk about this. This is a really neat program, a really neat series. I'm going to let you guys kind of elevator pitch this for us so we can kind of learn more about this really awesome opportunity for us.
All right. Well, how about I kick things off and then we'll hand it over to Yves to provide some of the details. And I would like to start by saying that the idea behind this series actually began with SIU Board of Trustees member John Simmons. He has provided a generous donation for us to launch what we're calling a Think and Do Tank that's bringing innovative, forward-thinking SIUE students and faculty together with equally creative and passionate community members to work together on food-focused issues. And the goal of this work is to produce mutually beneficial outcomes for our local communities and the university that positively impact livability in our Metro East communities. We're also aiming to develop outcomes that are accessible and transferable to other communities facing similar challenges. And so the reason why we are focusing on food is because as director of the Successful Communities Collaborative, which aims to work with communities to further their agendas while giving our students and faculty great opportunities to practice what they're learning and researching at the university. Over the time that we've been doing this work and connecting with communities in that way, we have seen consistently across all communities interest and concern around food. Food access, food quality, food careers, technology related to food. And so it made a lot of sense then to use food as our first focus for the speaker series. And through one of our incredibly bright and wonderful students, Nina Harris, who is a research member of the project, she introduced me to Yves. And Yves, do you want to take it from there and share a little bit about your work?
Thank you so much, Dr. Connie, and thank you, CJ, for having us, and also thank you to all the listeners who are connected right now. It is a pleasure for us to be here. So this project has been a long journey, and food is what connects us with our family. Food is what connects us with those that we love. So we are using food as the way to revamp or rebuild a neighborhood that used to be a thriving community, and today it's not what it used to be anymore. So we are using the food and this project to not only build that community, but also solve a lot of issues that we see around. And this is not just particularly to the Springfield area. It is kind of across the state and the country. So Motherland Project is that organization that is working to use food production to fight not only food insecurity, but also fight urban blight, because we clearly realize that communities that are struggling with food insecurity are mostly minority, not only, but mostly minority. And when you look around, in those communities, we also have the problem with urban blight. So if you connect food production, at the same time, neighborhood beautification and revitalization, you have something like a baseboard to build back a thriving community. So that is what we are doing here in Springfield. Go ahead, sorry.
Not to cut you off, but I mean, this is incredible. I mean, truly something to be just nothing but proud of. And how did you, so you founded the Motherland Community Project over in Springfield. This is something that's really neat. And was there something, maybe it was a conversation you had with an individual, maybe an experience from your own life? Is there a main reason for why you said, the time is now to start this really cool project?
So if I can talk a little bit about my background, I used to work on conservation project and sustainable agriculture, and my work was to go into rural community and help farmers to improve their production system without adding stress on their own resources. We are limited resources. So when I moved here in the US and I started volunteering in the community, I realized many times that I was kind of volunteering across. I went to the bread line. I went to some different food pantry to distribute food. Anytime I would realize that there's not a lot of fresh food that are being distributed. That was kind of something that particularly touched me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I realized that most of the food pantry are installed in neighborhood that are kind of what we call a food desert. So I started kind of trying to connect, how can I address many issues from one place?
Right. That is.
And
Oh, sorry.
no, the COVID was really what kind of was like the spark. When the COVID hit our country, we see how many communities were torn apart. People lost their loved one, and there was something, the precondition, like the comorbidity and also your health situation was kind of, if when COVID hit, you're healthy, you're more likely to survive. But if you already have some precondition related, for example, to the type of food that you eat, you are more likely to have a lot of difficulty surviving. So that was the moment that I told myself, this is the right time. You have to go and do something.
This is incredible. I mean, really something to be, I mean, just inspiring too. And your background with, you know, the conservation efforts, I mean, that fits perfectly in with the mission here. And so what I'll do is I'm going to ask you if you could, don't I guess, bury the headline or bury the lead, as, you know, my good friend Ray Hartman would say, but preview for us some of the topics you're going to be talking about, because honestly, not to patronize you guys, this is really cool and something we all need to learn a little bit more about. Oh, so what were you going to be previewing? Sorry, that was my question. What's some of the topics you're going to be talking about? You don't have to tell us the whole speech or the whole presentation, but maybe just some of the things that maybe for the folks that are going to make it and want a kind of a preview, or maybe the folks that can't but can take away something from this. I mean, this is really awesome.
So I will let Dr. Connie, if she can.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sure. So before maybe I go into the content of what people will expect, I want to share a little bit about the backstory, or the behind the scenes, rather, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Because actually the speaker series is part of what we're calling a think and do tank. And so the speakers component of it is the thinking, right? Bringing in new ideas, new wisdom, new tools, and new inspiration to incorporate what we're learning into the local communities. But the do part of that is that when Yves and other speakers come to campus, they're working with our faculty in research teams. And so we have 3 faculty fellows who will be working, again, sort of behind the scenes with folks like Yves and our local community members. They are paired with student research assistants and partnered with a local agency. And so part of what Yves' presentation will do is to equip our local folks, students, staff, and community members with, again, that knowledge, wisdom, and some tools that they will be able to use in these local contexts. And so with that, what we are thinking of, we're partnering, Yves is working with Megan Arnett, one of our sociology instructors. She teaches a sociology of food course. So he will be visiting with those students, and Megan and her research team will be working with the Tiny Children's Garden in Washington Park, again, to bring the wisdom that the research team has to the conversation that Yves brings, and incorporate some of that new wisdom, knowledge, and tools into that local context. And so with that in mind, Yves is going to speak to things like healthy food among Black, Indigenous communities of color. And as he spoke to earlier, that connection to poverty and health and larger implications, right, of lack of access to healthy, nutritious food. And then, of course, there's another component to this, too, that the more local the food is, the better for the environment, and the higher nutrient content as well. So I would say that's some of the preview. Yves, what else would you add to that?
Oh, thank you, Dr. Connie, for giving me the opportunity. And we have the support of the extension of Illinois that I would like to say great thank to. So we're also going to talk about entrepreneurship because we realize that in communities that are affected by food insecurity, sometimes there's a perception, the perception toward eating healthy and also the perception toward the food and even the whole ag industry. So one thing that we're going to talk about will be entrepreneurship, like food and commodity entrepreneurship, to talk to student or any person listening that when we talk agriculture, it is not just farming. There is a lot that go into it, and they can not only do something that they like, earn an income and learn a skill while doing it. That is something that we're also going to talk about. We'll probably add the equity, diversity, and inclusion because it is really very important at this moment that we think about all those things together, not just one part of it. So we are not just focused on the Black community, but we are focused on mostly all the minority community that are kind of sometimes from the food industry or
that is such a great point, and I'm so excited about this. And I think this is something that's going to be around for years to come. The speaker series, because it, like you said, the think and do, Connie, I think is awesome and a great component because it's one thing to talk about something and raise awareness, but it's also that next step to kind of make sure we're tackling the task at hand. And I gotta ask you, I mean, this is something that not a lot of people talk about, and it's because I don't know if it's because it's not popular or it's not a trendy news story, but something that needs to be addressed each and every day. And especially during COVID, I would think about that very same thing, is going, individuals, no matter what their race or ethnicity is, in these low income areas that have not really any access to healthy food. And now in your career and what you've been doing and working on, have you been a part of or seen an organization or maybe even just a business that's kind of really, trying to make the most of maybe what their cards are dealt in that community and trying to make affordable and healthy options? Have you came across that yet, or is that something you're still trying to help develop more?
Is that question for Yves or?
Oh, Yves. Yeah. So I was asking for you, to anyone that wants to talk, you're more than welcome to. I don't 60 minutes it,
Thank you so much. Yes, definitely. We start the project. It is a 10-year planning. We have a 10-year planning.
Wow.
Thank you so much. We are in phase 2. We are in phase 2, so we still have a 3 phase. We are not just going to be in the urban environment, we're also going to move in the rural area, because when we are talking food insecurity today, it's not only affecting urban community, but it's also affecting rural community. We are thinking about putting in place kind of a CSA, and then a CSA, we're going to have a food market where we can aggregate product and sell it to consumer. So definitely we are having those conversations right here in Springfield with business and stakeholders to be able to really build a food system. It's not just going into undeserved community and building a system there to produce healthy food, but it's also making sure that healthy food is accessible and affordable, and helping to create kind of a generation of new farmers who are able to right away go into the industry and produce what their community need the most.
That is just incredible. And we have a couple of minutes left. So, Connie, if you could preview us the first edition, the inaugural speaker series. It's going to be on Tuesday, the 31st of January. And Connie, the floor is yours, Senator. Take it away and let us know all the details and ins and outs.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yves' talk will be in the Meridian Ballroom in the Morris University Center on the SIUE Edwardsville campus. We will start at 7 o'clock. We'll have time afterwards. I'm really looking forward to the question and answer discussion period. So we're looking forward to, again, not just a presentation, but a real conversation around how we can use the information that Yves is sharing with us and the work that he's doing. And then again, he will be prior to that visiting with students and also connecting with some of the local community organizations beyond SIUE. So folks will certainly be in for a treat. Registration is free. We do ask that you do register so we have a proper head count. There is limited space, but there are some spaces still available. So we'd love to see folks get registered and join us on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. And Yves, anything else you'd like to say to the Riverbend community ahead of your engagement on Tuesday?
Yes, I am really thankful to be here. Thank you for hosting us. It's going to be a wonderful evening, and we're going to share a lot of things. I also want to say thank you to all the volunteers. And if there are people out there who want to work with us, please do not hesitate. We are coming into a wonderful community, and we are really proud to be able to work together to solve issues that are affecting us as a country. So definitely, thank you so much for being here, for hosting us, and for listening to the show.
Thank you guys so much. And Connie, Yves, you guys are going to be fantastic, and I really appreciate your time. It's 9:41 right here on this Thursday morning in the heart of the Riverbend on this 26th day of January. A quick break. We come back. We wrap up the 9 o'clock hour, and then Evelyn King, a local author making waves. We find out how after this.